Hey, what's going on? We're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's me and Moise. We're back for another episode of Weekly Wrestling Heat Podcast.
Long time,
You
long
know
time,
what?
long time.
You know what? We're gonna put this on right now. Dropping right now. We're gonna drop our new entrance video. Think we should do that?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. World premiere here on Weekly Wrestling Heat.
Dude,
Anyways,
I can't wait till I run out to a wrestling ring with that theme. And then then Vince calls me up and changes it. You know, that's kind of how it works, right?
Oh man, that's funny.
Wait, really quick before
Right,
the news, really quick before the news. Roman's new theme. You digging it or you whatever on it? I love it. I love it.
It brings out the, in my opinion, I enjoy the theme because it brings out the tribal chief. So it separates him from the Shield. It separates him from everything that he's been known for, and it makes this heel character complete.
Especially if they're going to go with the Seth Rollins feud soon, because both their music is so captivating.
Yes. I am sharing this to Facebook. All right, here we go. All right, let's get into it. Wrestling news. So it's been reportedly, like I said, this is reports. This isn't factual until we see this person back on. We'll keep it as it is. So this is rumors here at Weekly Wrestling Heat. We do not like to follow these, but this is news. Anyways, Zelina Vega is reportedly in talks and is reportedly coming back to WWE. She was spotted at the Performance Center this week or last week or sometime in the last time filming some stuff. So it's interesting. She could probably be, in my opinion, I think she's probably going to come back to Up Up Down Down, which is Xavier Woods' gaming channel. Or she might, you know what? I think Up Up Down Down might actually take off a little bit bigger than it's already big. I think Up Up Down Down is up. It's up for a massive push for gamers, especially wrestling gamers. So I think bringing her back and put her on there, I think that would be a great benefit for it.
Especially with how hard they're promoting 2K22 now. Because they know they had a clusterfuck with 2K20. So they're promoting the hell out of 2K22. Which I downloaded 2K20. I haven't got to play it yet, but I've heard nothing bad stuff about it. So I'll probably do like a quick 10-minute review on that soon. But you know who we know is back? Jimmy Uso is back.
Yes, Jimmy Uso came back this past Friday, and I'm interested to see where this is taking off to. Will Jey Uso turn his back on Roman Reigns, or will we get the famous the one-on-one match, Jimmy versus Jey, that they said that they wanted to do eventually?
Dude, honestly, I would like if they did it the whole Jey Uso style, like where Jimmy doesn't want to join, but then you bring, then eventually when he does, if you can bring Naomi in there too, like just because she's doing nothing on Raw, she was on main event this week. Get her with Paul Heyman. I think her as the heel against Bianca with Heyman on the mic against Bianca could be money, especially if you do the Street Profit Usos there. There's a lot of ways you can go with it. Please, WWE, do not fuck this up.
Please don't. I really enjoy this. Also, Slammiversary got announced by Impact. Slammiversary is taking place Saturday, July 17th.
With fans.
It does have with fans. And also, before I forget, AEW is coming back to starting a tour. They will be hitting Austin, Dallas, and I forgot Miami, I think.
Austin, Dallas, and I think Miami. And then David just posted WWE has a date set in mind too. I didn't read the article because we've been so busy this last hour. But David posted in our group chat.
So also, it's Slammiversary. They're posting. Of course, this always happens with Impact, especially with newly released wrestlers. Images had Samoa Joe, Kushida Okada, Chelsea Green, Mickie James on it. So it might be a chance that we might see one of these.
Chelsea Green too. Chelsea Green too.
Yeah, that's what I said. Chelsea Green.
Oh,
it's gonna be on July 17th. And that's it for the Impact. Also, going on with the news, that's pretty much. I think so. I think that's it. I don't see.
Selena Del Renta is a free agent. De La Renta.
Oh yeah, Selena Del Renta is a free agent. I'm excited to see where she's at, where she's gonna go. She's one of my favorite talents out there. Shout out to Selena Del Renta. Also, shout out to Bam Bam Malone. We just got through with an interview, which will be up tomorrow. It's a full-fledged interview with Bam Bam Malone. Catch SWE Fury and your local Texas talent that are coming, and I think they're going to be in Dallas on the 22nd of this month.
Yeah, 22nd this month. So, then Lubbock next month, and then Irving, Texas, later that month. But really quick on the Zelina Vega thing, Elias, I'm going to tickle your fancy here because you talked about this so much. Zelina Vega joining Legado de Fantasma.
Ooh, that would be awesome in my opinion.
Good, right?
I especially her being the mouthpiece for them. I think it would be good if we group her up with them. Either way, I want to see her wrestle. I want to see her more than in a wrestling capacity than actually being in an actual manager situation. So we'll see what happens.
Especially because NXT's got smaller girls now, like Joey Stark, AQA. Like they got girls that Zelina would not look that small in front of. So I think they put on some great matches.
Well, even when she was against Piper Niven, in the Worlds Collide tournaments that they had, she looked really good. So, Zelina's one of the most underrated talents out there, and especially in the ring because I caught her when she was when she was wrestling in the Indies. That's Thea Trinidad. So that's one of the things that I want to see. I want to see what happens. Like I said, it's a rumor, but we'll see. We'll confirm it once it happens, and we'll bring you more coverage as it comes. Let's hop into NXT. Let's actually cover. I know we were off a week, so let's cover Blood and Guts. I think that's one of the main things that we want to talk about. I know we missed Blood and Guts. We missed last week's episode, so let's get into it.
We here at Weekly Wrestling Heat love family time. We're never going to say no to family time. Elias took his wife out to a lovely dinner last Thursday. How'd that dinner go? I saw you started drinking a little early.
It was good. It was fun. I had fun.
Awesome.
So what happened? Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley defeated Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa after Eddie and
how about this? Let's just talk about the Blood and Guts match, and then when we do Tuesday's episode, we'll cover both weeks of AEW. Sound good?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, so let's talk about the Blood and Guts match. You start off because we have complete different opinions on this.
So I actually enjoyed the match. Me being an old school NWA fan, having watched the original Blood and Guts match, which is the original War Games, or the match Beyond, like they call it. I thought it was a great tribute to that match. The same brutality, the same kind of thing that happened in NWA happened at this match. The flow of the match to me was good. The spots, of course, there were a couple of botches, which is unfortunate. I know Sammy did a jump off the top rope, but when he kind of bounced from rope to rope. And
that Spanish fly was so good. I don't even count in the next box.
Yeah, so there's I would say the MVPs of the match is Sammy, Hager, Wardlow,
MJF at the end,
MJF, and Santana Ortiz. Santana Ortiz brought that brutality, especially how I think it was Ortiz that had the fork. Just
Santana did. And he's like, "What were you saying about my kids?" Or he said something along those lines.
Yeah. So Santana, So to me, it was a good match. The only complaint I have was the ending. You get to and I don't blame it on the wrestlers because on this one, it was beyond their control. The wrestlers did their job. The I think it's just a production issue, and I think that's something that's plaguing AEW really bad right now. The production value, the way that they ended, you heard Jericho tell MJF throw me off the top, and stuff like that. So it's DBA Mechanics. Welcome to the show. So you saw that stuff, and that kind of like blew it off. And then once he got thrown off, as Jericho was trying to sell the injury, it was one of those things that the camera kept cutting back to him. So it kind of took away from that momentum because he's supposed to be knocked out, and some of the times that the camera cut to him, he had his eyes open trying to talk to the ringside crew and stuff like that, which kind of killed it for me. Production was a lot of thing. I think there was a lot of timing issues as well, which, like I said, it wasn't the wrestlers' fault. A lot of the big moments that happened in picture, which was bad, which was the sad part for me because if those big moments like when people got cut, when people got hurt or a big moment happened, it always happened in picture in this match for the most part. So that's my takeaway from this match. The guys performed great. It was a slobber knocker in my opinion. I think it's up there to be one of the best matches of the year for AEW. Not saying it's the best match, but as far as a rating, if we're going ratings, I'll give it like a 4.5 out of 5, a 4 out of 5. And that's just because I enjoyed me being an old school NWA fan. I enjoyed the blood and guts, the real blood and guts, because that's how it really was. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy NXT's War Games because NXT's War Game is awesome. Every match that they've had has been pretty good. But I still enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 at my point of view.
So, man, it's like we're doing a double turn here because I'm usually the AEW mark, and now I'm gonna go on my little high horse and complain. So, I love Santana and Ortiz in this match. It brought a sense of realism. Man, the turnbuckle post coming off happened in picture. The ring being torn apart happened in picture. MJF climbing to the top happened in picture. Like, dude, just if I was saw any one of those moments, even if it was the smallest moment of those three, which is the turnbuckle post coming off, if I saw that in full screen, I would be so much happier. And I thought MJF looked good. I love the low blow to get out of Walter Jericho because we haven't seen that, especially even in Jericho's no disqualification matches he did in WCW and WWE. Like, you never saw someone use a low blow to get out of it. So I thought it was really cool how he did that. I thought the final shot was the one thing that AEW's production does right is zooming in on the bloody face of the winner. They did it with Britt Baker twice, and they did it great with Sammy here. And I thought it looked money. And they are so good at the post-match, aside from this instance. But even then, if I had a 10 on the post-match, I would give it an 8 on the MJF human. I would give it a -5 on the Jericho stuff. But I feel like there were 3 or 4 other ways you could have done it, And I haven't watched this week's AEW, so I don't know if Jericho's back. I don't know if Jericho's going to be back next week. What is big enough? Because they're obviously going to continue the Jericho MJF thing. I think they're going to go MJF Sammy next. This is me not watching yesterday's episode, so I don't know what's going on. I think they're going to go MJF Sammy next week, or not next week, at the next pay-per-view. And I think it's going to lead to Jericho and MJF. And I don't know what stipulation you drop on it.
So,
give it away.
So, all right. So Jericho did come back yesterday.
You don't think it's too soon?
I thought it was too soon. Okay. I thought that he should have sold the injury a little bit better. But there is a match set. I'm not going to tell you what it is and the stipulation. Okay. There is 2 stipulations. So there is a match and there is a stipulation. The only thing I can crap about, I'm not going to crap about it because it's stuff that's when it comes down to wrestling nowadays, everything is redone. So anything that you've seen in AEW, NXT, WWE, Impact, ROH probably already happened at the other promotion a long time ago. So
Yeah.
The way it happened was funny, but it didn't have the same effect that the original thing that happened. And the match itself, it's a rematch. It's gonna be the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, and I'll let you watch it and see, and let me know, and you can let me know next week what you thought about it. And let me know what you thought about the actual whole segment.
Awesome.
I do want to talk about
is the stipulation big enough? That's what I want to ask you.
Yes, it's a big stipulation, but we'll talk about it more next week when we come back. So that way I can give you my inside thought of it, because this rematch it's reminds me of the WWE 50-50 booking scenario. So this is something that we'll talk about next week.
And Matt called this. Remember, Matt said they're going to go over, and then Jericho's eventually going to go over. That's what Matt called last time he was on our show. Yeah.
So there is one thing that I do want to talk about Blood and Guts that I did enjoy, and people crapping about this about yesterday's promo that this person threw, but Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall was a underrated match that I actually enjoyed. The ending of it was kind of meh, because I mean, come on, like you kind of already set that match up for that, but I thought that Cody Rhodes made QT look like a star, and that's the rub that QT Marshall needed.
And Billy Gunn is making a Go-Go look like $1 million the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that too. A Go-Go is going to be the top. I mark my words. Anthony Ogogo is going to be one of the top people in AEW pretty soon. He's already got the look. He's got the skills. We still yet to see him in a full wrestling match, but I'll just reserve my future judgment for that when that happens. Okay. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I will say with Ogogo, he's one of those guys that I watched AEW with my dad. He's one of those guys when my dad will be texting, he'll be eating, but when Ogogo comes on the screen, my dad's like, he looks like a fighter. And I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, he's an Olympic boxer. He's like, yeah, the guy looks like $1 million. So it's something that he definitely attracts to the non-hardcores.
Yes, and that's important. So one thing I can say about AEW that they've been doing correct. Ever since AEW and NXT went on their separate nights, AEW has found a great flow to their show. And they're focusing on storylines. They're focusing on building talent. That's something that you did not see. NXT has always stayed in their lane and developed the storylines, developed the talent, developed everything, had a nice flow to the show. AEW, when they were competing against NXT, felt like they were pushing for those holy shit moments for the most part. Then, now that they're separate, I will say that AEW has become more enjoyable to me. And I'm the anti-AEW person, and I'm the heel person in this group that talks about that kind of shits on AEW. But lately, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the way that the progression of the storylines have been coming. I've enjoyed a little bit of everything. I am tired of the Young Bucks. I'll agree with Matt on that one. I'm kind of tired of the Young Bucks. But I'm excited to see what's next.
Are you tired of Kenny too, or are you just tired of Young Bucks?
I think it's just the Young Bucks. I think and it's not nothing against them. I think it's just that it feels that this heel turn is forced.
I'll give you that. It definitely feels like, okay, we're wrestling in our $1,500 tennis shoes, whether they're fake or not, whatever. We're wrestling in our $1,500 tennis shoes, whatever. I feel like when they're cutting the promos, I hate the fact that freaking, I don't know which brother it is, but the fucking hair color is coming off when he's sweating. It just makes him feel old. And you can't be a Young Bucks and make me feel like a Young Buck when I'm watching you.
No, and that's right. I mean, it's nothing against them. They're great. They're good in ring. They're for their style. They're good. I just think that it's one of those moments where the Young Bucks, this heel turn feels forced on them. It feels like, well, Kenny's having success being the cleaner again. You keep repicking up, modifying his cleaner gimmick. I'm enjoying. I actually, as much as I crap on it, I enjoy seeing Kenny with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
I
Like the
enjoy
build
him
from
with
the
Nakagawa.
yeah, with Nakazawa and Don Callis. I love that combination. It's just one of those things that it felt like the Young Bucks were like, all right, well, let's just jump on the hype train. Whether they're selling it as they're kind of like whether we're going to see a face turn eventually from the Young Bucks, because I feel that's where it's leading to. Eventually they're going to turn on Kenny, or they'll turn on the Good Brothers, or the Good Brothers
So
turn
I
on
think it's
them.
going to be the opposite way. I think the Good Brothers are going to turn face, but I don't know what this whole Impact deal is. Like, I don't. I was all for it, but now it's just like a clusterfuck of booking.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's only benefiting Kenny and the Good Brothers. So it's like,
I don't want FinJuice to turn heel if the Good Brothers turn face.
yeah, like I like one thing I want to say is that Impact has done a great job at spotlighting in New Japan talent. Vinjuice looks great. El Fantasma looked great. El Fantasma looked great on his debut in Impact.
Him and Josh Alexander is going to be fire, dude.
I'm ready for that match. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see what's next with Impact. They're gaining momentum. MLW is gaining momentum. Dario Cueto is back in the mix. Yes, Dario Cueto is back, and I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed him taking over.
MLW starting touring in a couple of months too.
That too. They're coming to Texas. They're coming to. I think they're going to New York. They're going to a couple of other cities. And I'm excited to see MLW as well. And so there were reports of WWE and MLW that were in talks of actually doing a joint collaboration of sending NXT talent there. According to reports, it like I said, these are reports. The talks fell through, so that's not going to happen. But I hope in the future this actually happens, because they actually bought the War Games name from MLW. So that I'll be excited if they eventually do something like that. Let's get a quick recap of NXT right quick, and then I think we're done for the
You want
night.
to just talk about the thing? Yeah, I know you want to keep this short. Let's just talk about the stuff we liked the last couple of weeks. I think one thing we're both going to talk about is Raquel and Mercedes.
Oh yeah, that match was, regardless of the little botches that you saw, I enjoyed the match. Raquel looked great. Mercedes made Raquel look like a.
When you're that tall as Raquel and Mercedes are, you can get away with the botches because you can be because the size covers it up. In my opinion, it's more noticeable when a Dakota Kai or Shotzi Blackheart or Chancellor Ray doesn't botch, right? Because they aren't as tall.
I actually enjoyed the match between the Way, Indy Hartwell, and Candice versus Shotzi and Ember. Ember and Shotzi.
Loved it.
Well, yeah, because they lost the titles. But no, the Way looked really well, looked really good. And Indy is growing into her role. One thing I will say that I've been enjoying lately is the freaking Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory. I love their backstage promo, their backstage segments they have. I enjoyed the one last week where they were in the office and Scarlett was in there, and then us. Are those real? This must be real. Like, those are the biggest nails I've seen. So it kind of brought back like a memory of DX, when they made fun of stuff like that, and then they turned it into something else. So it was really good seeing stuff like that.
I don't think WWE can do this. Sorry to cut you off, but I just want to get this thought out there. We talk about how wrestling's like ladder and repeat after a few years. If Austin Theory goes that Jericho face route against Johnny Gargano, like we're just like having goofy ass segments with Regal in the back. Like, I would love that. Like, he's splitting from this group. I want him to just annoy Regal every week.
I think they will work. I think Austin Theory has that it factor, and he's shown that he's versatile. He could be serious, he could be comical, he could be everything. So I'm enjoying what they're doing with Karrion Cross now that he has the title. Like last week, you had Pete Dunne, you had Kyle O'Reilly, you had Finn Balor come out, and then you had that whole little debacle they had in the ring, and then Gargano and Austin Theory taking out Cross, and then this week Cross just demolishing Austin Theory. That is a way to book him. And then just like what added the icing on the cake was just Finn Balor just standing like the first time that Karen Cross was behind him, like just to bring back that memory of that. And he says, "You know what I want." And he's like, and then Karen Cross is like, "I've been waiting for this. Let's make it official." So I'm excited to see this rematch.
Another thing that I think is really good on NXT, the Bobby Fish return this week because they didn't book it like how they booked Roddy. Like it's two separate, completely separate spectrums. Roddy's upset. Roddy wants time off. Bobby Fish is like, I'm here to kick ass. I'm doing my own thing. I just came to save you because you're my boy. And Kyle's like, yeah, I'm your boy. We're going to go our separate ways. But I love it because you don't see that respectful split a lot.
Yeah, and like I said, when Undisputed split, it was a drama-filled thing. And for Bobby Fish to come back and be like, hey, I respect you, but I'm doing my own thing. It builds a lot. I'm excited. I want to see a match between Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish.
Should have done it with Tucker. Should have done it with Tucker and Otis too. Maybe Tucker would still have a job.
Yeah, I'm enjoying MSK and their title reign. MSK has done a great job these past couple of weeks. The match that they had this past on Tuesday actually, with against Breezango was pretty fun. And then also seeing the ref get involved, that made you feel like you were. It feels like they're going back to that, making you feel like an indie fan in a sense, because you rarely see a ref get involved, and if it's a ref getting involved, it's usually on a big spot like they do on the main roster.
I wonder how Matt would watch that. I feel like Matt would enjoy it because it's very PWG, you know.
Yeah, and that's something that AEW does real well too. Like they go back and they try to keep that indie feeling. For NXT to go back and go and follow that indie stuff, I think it's a really good thing for them to bring back those moments. And I think it's that they're hearing the fans, they're hearing everybody that's talking, and they hear the chatter and they're trying to deliver to the fans. And I think that's something that.
What's cool about it? What's cool about it is Daryl Sherma, the referee that did it. He's going to be their head official now because of all the stuff going on with Drake Works, which we don't get into politics, so we don't touch on that. But yeah. They announced Daryl Sherman as the head official in NXT now, and he's helping out at Raw and stuff too. I love that they did it with a head official, and it's not like some wrestler that they're like how they did Eric Guggenheim in the Old Spice commercials, you know?
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm like, hey, we don't have anything for you, so we're gonna have you act like a referee that does these cool spots. No, it's our head official that's doing it.
Yeah. Also, one thing I don't know how you feel about this one, but Isaiah Swerve Scott's new faction, the Hit Row Records.
I'm gonna hold pause on it. I want to see more.
I agree. I like the people that they have: Adonis, AJ Francis, and I forgot the girl's name.
Brianna Brandy.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
But I'm reserving judgment. I want to see exactly what happens with them next. I enjoyed the way that they presented them, and then I enjoyed the way that they were introduced to the NXT universe.
And AJ Francis has a lot of charisma, so I can't wait till that starts showing.
Yeah, and I'm excited because I've been seeing AJ Francis on the A&E's WWE's Hidden Treasures, and at first people thought it was gonna be like collecting like toys and stuff like that, which everybody was like that could have been Mike Cardona and what's the
Brian Myers.
But this is actually something different. That's something I would recommend people to watch. I would recommend to watch Hidden Treasures and Biography. Also Dark Side of the Ring, because it has a couple of things that are like that touch on old school stuff. But the only biography that I did kind of scratch my head at was the Macho Man Randy Savage one. because I felt like they were sugarcoating stuff, but at the same time they were burying Randy Savage.
Did you hear Peter Rosenberg go off on it because he was part of it?
Yeah.
So this week on TP, he went off on it. He's like, "Look, they didn't tell me that I was going to be in a documentary with fucking Gorgeous George and Bubba the Love Sponge, who shouldn't even be there in the first place." And
Yeah.
I think Gorgeous George does have the place in it. Bubba the Love Sponge, I don't think you need him.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just one of those ones that they needed some people that knew him, and a lot of the people that know him that are in the industry, they're kind of blacklisted from WWE a little bit.
Yeah.
So a lot of the main people that knew him probably, like DDP would have been a good person to have on there, or some other people that are not.
I didn't watch the Macho Man. Was Bischoff on it?
I think so. I think he was on it too.
Okay, because the only one I watched I watched half of the Booker T one so far, and I'm gonna finish that tonight. I loved it. Booker T's one of my favorites. So
yeah. So all right, let's get back into NXT. Finish it up. I think also Kushida's cruiserweight title reign has been great. I enjoy the 2 out of 3 falls match against Santos Escobar was awesome. I think that Santos after this is going to move to be the next challenger to the NXT title because they still have an unfinished storyline with him and Cross.
That I could also, if Zelina Vega is becoming part of that stable, I would love to see the way against them.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much NXT in a nutshell.
Who do you think Frankie Monet first feud is going to be? Io, right? I think it's going to be Io send off.
It's going to be Io because they've been teasing that for a minute. So I think.
But they also teased Shotzi and Ember because the dog pooped in the tank.
Yeah, so I think it regardless, it'll be good. I want to see who's her next who her first feud is. I want to see exactly how she is in the ring, if they've modified her style or anything like that. So I'm pretty much excited for that.
Cameron Grimes, you want to touch on that? You want to touch on Cameron Grimes?
I really, you know what? Cameron Grimes is growing more. I mean, him with Ted DiBiase, it's awesome. The $1 Million Man, like those segments have been pretty fun and pretty good, in my opinion. So I'm enjoying it. So, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's a quick show. We had another show, 30 minutes. So I just want to keep it to a quick thing. We'll be back next week covering this week's
Tuesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be back Tuesday and Thursday. We'll be covering SmackDown, AEW from this week. And then on Thursday, as always, we'll cover the regular action that happens on Tuesday and Thursday.
And Tuesday, me and Elias will also get into one of my favorite wrestlers returning that Elias didn't mention in the news.
Oh.
Okay, I'll let it slide because Raw's been so bad. Jinder Mahal's back, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I blanked out on WWE this week. I only caught NXT and AEW.
Yeah. No, SmackDown's great. NXT's great. AEW's super good. Raw, get your shit together. There is a lot of there's a lot of reports holding back until the live crowds.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also think that they're starting to improve on their show. They're introducing new faces. They're introducing new storylines, which I think is getting better. It's still cringeworthy because they got to do better in actually booking their 3 hours. If they're going to do a 3-hour show, book it better. I was watching, and I don't really usually listen to the Wrestling Observer stuff, but the reason I listen to it is because of Lance Storm. But he broke it down. He says in AEW's first hour of wrestling of the show, they have about 60% wrestling. When you look at WWE's first 2 hours, it's 30% wrestling. So when they get back to actually doing more wrestling and instead of instead of trying to progress a storyline or instead of trying to keep people on the mic for 10 minutes. I think Raw will get better. I think that's what NXT, AEW, and SmackDown are doing great. They're able to keep the show flowing. They're able to do more. And you see more action in ring, and that's what people tune into. Like you see people tune into actually watch the wrestling. So I think that'd be a very important thing for a Raw to do if they could focus more on making that 60% wrestling, or 70% wrestling, instead of having more backstage segments or segments in the ring without no wrestling. I think it will help Raw a lot.
I think you know what you should do in the first hour. Show me more Raw talk and give me two guys that aren't featured. Like, give me a Ricochet, Jeff Hardy that you're doing on main event. Let them go 15, 20 minutes.
But you know what? Main event has been awesome. I've caught it. The freaking Ricochet versus what's the Retribution Ali. Those matches they've had these past couple of weeks. Oh my god! Like, main event is on fire. It's better than the fucking 2 hours of Raw. The first 2 hours of Raw.
He does not hold back, dude. He doesn't care if it's main event. He doesn't care if it's WrestleMania. That guy gives 150% in all of his matches.
Dude, there was this I think there was it was a match against Ricochet. Ricochet did a moonsault off the top rope and landed on a standing Ali and turned it into a cover. I'm sitting there like, holy crap, this is awesome! Like everything that
yeah, even when Ali was on 205, remember he did him and Murphy on 205. You remember that? Him and Gulak on 205. This guy was hitting Spanish flies off the barricade. And I'm just like, holy shit, dude. If you're going to have a 3-hour show, give me 15 minutes of the gymnastics.
Just give me 15 minutes more of action. That's all I ask for. But anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. We'll come back next week with Tuesday and Thursday with new episodes. As always, follow us on Weekly Wrestling Heat on Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube, Twitch, Weekly Wrestling Heat TV. Follow us on our Instagram _Wrestling Heat. We'll be back next week as always. Peace out and adios. Peace.
Take care, guys.